We're back with more Call to the Booth. Aqib Talib, Harrison Sanford. We're talking about the Super Bowl, the almost said the Patriots because that's how I had Tom Brady
A
being
lot of
in
people
New England,
making
but
that
no,
mistake this morning.
indeed, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning the Super Bowl over the Kansas City Chiefs, and that does actually bring me to Tom Brady and the impact that he's had in the NFL. Most of his time spent with the New England Patriots, now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Saw some videos this morning and late last night. Tom Brady almost had a stoic demeanor after winning this seventh Super Bowl, and you could hear commentary from player after player that Tom just inserted and brought a level of swag and
Telling you.
confidence. Can you give me your personal experience on why you felt you were capable of winning a Super Bowl the moment you played with Tom Brady? Give me something about his aura, his leadership skills that really makes me feel as if I know what the Tampa Bay Buccaneer teammates are going through when they're with Tom.
All right, so first of all, like we ain't in the era where he had to create who Tom Brady was. We ain't in that era. So in this era right here, his name alone is Tom Brady. You like, oh, we talk about him as being the GOAT, the greatest of all time, right? So when you got a guy like that, man, it just boosts the confidence of everybody around you, period. You always think you got a chance to win with him, and that's just because his name alone. And then when he come into the building, you see how he work, you see how competitive he is. He talking shit to, you know what I'm saying? You see, like, he normal. He one of the guys, but he just that storybook guy who you create. You say, all right, he gonna be the first one in every day. He gonna be the last one to leave. He gonna live and die football. He gonna take care of his body all day. Like, he just really that person. And then when you really get to see that with your own eyes, I heard Mike Evans talk about, I take care of my body way better now after I done been around time. Like, little stuff like that rub off on you. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I just think it's that confidence that he bring from just the way he work, the way he approach every day, and what you used to watch on TV all the time and YouTube, and you see what he done in the past, and then when you see him live, you like, oh, you know, it don't surprise you why he do that, man. And guys like that, man, like, I'd say like this, when we had Peyton, boom. Peyton played the first six or whatever, which was pretty cool. Boom, Peyton gone, and then it kind of started flowing through the locker room. Peyton finna be down 6 to 8 weeks. Peyton finna be down 6 to 8 weeks. So we like, shit. But the confidence that he had us, we looked at it like, all right, he gonna be down 6 to 7 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks. We can't lose more than 3. If we go 5-3, or if we go 4-2 or something like that, then Peyton will be back, and then we'll be able to do this. Like, you always got that confidence, like, you know what I'm saying? We could just hold it down until he get back, then we could possibly do this. So, man, that confidence was written all on their uniforms. By when they came out the tunnel to the first play, man, the beginning of the game, you can just see how confident you could look at it and see in the tunnels, you know what I'm saying, pregame, you could just see, like, who is the more amped up, more confident team? And every scene I seen, it was the Bucks. And that comes from Tom Brady alone, man. That's that Tom Brady factor that you always think you got a chance to win when he on your team.
When you walk into a building and you got the headliner, it always makes life
I'm
feel
telling you.
easy. You walk with a bit more of a swag.
Hell yeah.
So last year, commentary about Tom Brady, whether it was his arm strength, his a lot of commentary was based not just on the roster, the pass catchers in New England, but just particularly on the talent level of Tom Brady himself. There was some commentary that his skill level was deteriorating. He's made it clear he's coming back next year.
Yep.
Where do you see his skill level versus last year versus where it could be next year?
Well, I think last year his skill level looked like it diminished a little bit because the guys around him. He had his best receiver was hurt. You know what I'm saying? He didn't really have his guys out there, so it's hard to work with scraps. Basically, it's hard to work with scraps, man. So if you surround him by a dog ass O line and 2 dog running backs and 3 number 1 receivers, you know what I'm saying? A Hall of Fame tight end. When you surround him by a cast like that, man, you asking for success. You know what I'm saying? So next year, man, I see them coming back being the best team in the league. They definitely gonna get a championship like fight because everybody wanted to play the Bucks hard anyway because they looked at them as champions because they had Tom Brady. But you gonna actually get the championship fight from everybody next year. But I still think they still gonna win 12, 13 games and be right back in the Super Bowl next year, man. That team is built. As long as they can keep some of these key free agents like Shaq, like Levante, you know what I'm saying, Godwin, if they can keep guys like that, man, they'll be right back in that chip next year.
Support for Call to the Booth is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. And big news from Manscaped, they just released their new cologne scent to help you feel good and smell good all over at all times.
Now, who knew smelling good could actually feel this good? Man, and Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. So don't get lost in the shuffle. Don't have bad below-the-waist hygiene. Join the movement, Manscaped.
And that 2 million people that approve it, the men, I'm sure the women approve it as well too. It comes into a nice, great package. We've talked about on Manscaped before on the show with the Perfect Package 3.0. It comes with the trimmer, comes with the ball wipes. I mean, it has literally everything you need, and then you just throw on some cologne, and you really have everything that you need in order to how would you say this, Aqib? Be in playoff mode?
Just to be ready. Just to be ready for the game. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what's gonna happen in the game, but you want to be ready for that game, right? You know what I'm saying? You don't want the female to not feel your vibe because of your smell. You know what I'm saying? So we could check that box with Manscaped. And I'm not really a cologne type of wearer, right? So I got my pack from Manscaped. You know what I'm saying? I bust it open. I laugh at the ball wipes. All this, you know what I'm saying? I spray the cologne just to check it out. I'm like, oh, it smells cool. About like 45 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Wifey came in and, I'm like, what's up, baby? She's like, what's that? Where you been? And I'm like, what, babe, what? And she like, man, the cologne. I said, what you got on cologne? I said, smell good. She said, yeah, smell good. So look, she think I was about to go do something or coming from somewhere. That's the vibe the smell gave her, you know what I'm saying? So y'all better get on board with it, man. It's the truth.
These personal stories are the best. You know what to do. Go to get your 20% off with free shipping with the code NOFLYZONE at manscaped.com. One more time again. That's 20% off with free shipping with the code NOFLYZONE at manscaped.com. Look good, smell good, feel good with Manscaped. I want to get to the biggest quarterback that could be available on the market. But since we're in the NFC South, we might as well talk about Drew Brees, the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
Reports have come out, multiple reports, that Drew Brees is expected to retire. It's also believed that Jameis Winston is like the front runner to get that quarterback job or to get the starting position if that all works out. How do you think that should play out? Do you think that will work? If I'm Jameis Winston and I'm getting the chance to not only replace Drew Brees, right, but I'm also working on the heels of Tom Brady taking the team I was just quarterbacking for and taking them to the Super Bowl. If there's any motivation, if there's anything that's going to lock you in the film room and get you right and motivate you to be your best, it has to be this, right?
Got to be that, man. I feel like the Saints like Jameis. You know what I'm saying? I think they watched him work for a year, and they like what they see. You know what I'm saying? I always was a Jameis fan, man. I felt like he threw too many interceptions, but I felt like some of the greatest quarterbacks came in the league throwing a bunch of interceptions, and as time went on, they got better at it, right? But Jameis ain't seemed like he got better at it his last year in Tampa, but I mean, he was in the offense that allows you to throw a lot of interceptions because they throw a bunch of balls downfield. So he almost encouraged you to take shots downfield in this offense. So you're going to throw more interceptions. So I feel like if he'd had a couple more years in this offense, he would have got better, man. I always believed in Jameis. I thought he was a pretty good quarterback myself. So Sean Payton is a great judge of players. So if he see him and he like him for a reason, man. And I think Jameis gonna be the guy in New Orleans. He got to sit behind Drew and really watch how he go to work. And I think that's ultimately what's gonna help him. Forget what Tom Brady doing. Forget where you at. You just being able to just be in the shadow of Drew Brees and watch how he work and watch how he think and ask him, what was you thinking? Why did you check that on this? That's going to make you a better player in the long run, you know what I'm saying? So, Jameis, the next guy up in New Orleans, man, I like it.
So let's talk about the quarterbacks. As I alluded to, Deshaun Watson, management has come out and said they have no intentions of trading Deshaun Watson. Right. Do you believe that to be true? And if you don't believe it to be true, where would you like to see him? Where would you like to see him? Where do you think he ends up?
I don't think it's true just because that relationship ain't there, man. I don't, whether you don't want to trade him, if he go about it, come in the building with a hoodie on, not talking to nobody, like you don't want your face of your friend, you don't want that. So you might as well. It's already tarnished. You know what I'm saying? So you might as well just replace him with something. You know what I'm saying? Before you replace him with nothing. So I think it's a done deal, man. I think it's over with. I want to see him go. I love to see him go to Vegas, man. Go out there to Vegas. I think they probably in a spot where they've been riding with Carr for a while now, and he ain't been to the playoffs like that. He just, they like him as a person, but as a player, he really just not getting the job done. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you might could still trade him to somebody and give him a fresh start, and somebody might believe in him, right? So I love to see him go out there with Groove, man. Groove is a great grower of quarterbacks, man. So they got some speedy receivers out there, man. It's kind of a young team ready to hit the scene, man. It's gonna be a good market. It's Vegas, man. It's gonna be a pretty good market for him, man. So he's not going to like a little low budget market or nothing like that. So I love to see him go to Vegas, man, and rock out with Groove and them in Vegas.
It must be a wonderful time or a heck of a time if the Vegas Raiders, can be a good team after this pandemic is over. That is that's a lot of fun on deck. Exactly. If we can get past this part of our lifetimes right now. So I hope as well that Deshaun Watson does get traded because as we talked about Tom Brady, having a quarterback who believes in what's happening in the building has an impact for the entire roster. So it's in their best interest to bring in somebody who could probably be more optimistic about the future of the franchise. Exactly. Speaking of the future of the franchise, it seems as if Carson Wentz is out. In Philadelphia, reports have come out that the Philadelphia Eagles are intent on trading him in the next maybe 24, 48, 72 hours. Where would you like to see him go? And do you think he could get back to his almost, some people were saying, near elite level?
Right. I think he can get back to that, man. And like I said, it come out that him and Doug Peterson were kind of bumping heads, man. So that you're gonna see that in your play, right? If you and the coordinator, that's a marriage right there. If y'all really not on the same page, you're gonna definitely be able to see that in guys' play, man. So I love him to go to the coach and get back with Frank Wright, and that's who had them playing that way. And I think it's because of their relationship. They was just on the same page. They had great communication, and I love to see him get back in that kind of situation, man. A great O-line, you know what I'm saying, and that's just everything is set up for him to win right there. And I think if he got back with that coach, with that communication, and that vibe, man, that he'll get back to being elite, playing on that elite level again.
Mo Alley Cox, Jack Doyle, and there's another, and Trey Burton, all pass-catching tight ends. Mm-hmm. You still got T.Y. Hilton. You got Michael Pittman Jr., who had a really good rookie year. Mm-hmm. And obviously you have Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines, and you still have Marlon Mack, I believe, still eligible to come back. A great offensive line. Lot of weapons. Great and a O-line. Stout defense. Yep.
Solid defense. That's a team waiting to explode, for real.
Yeah, and that division, we don't know what's going to happen with the Texans, and the Jaguars are still a ways away, even if they end up with Trevor Lawrence. So there's a window for them that you would hope that they attacked. All right, let's go through some other quarterbacks that will be of note in the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to take a break here, Cole, to the booth, but there might be things happening between trades and things of that nature. So we're going to lay out some predictions for what might happen while we're gone. I'm going to name a quarterback. Aqib might give him a quick answer. He might go a little bit more in depth depending on the situation. The first one might be a little bit quicker. We'll start with Mitchell Trubisky. What happens?
Mitchell Trubisky, I think he'll be gone, man. I'm not sure where he'll end up, but I don't know. I think Mitchell Trubisky, he gonna be a good backup in our league. I don't know if he's a starter like that in our league, man. He got opportunity after opportunity, so I think the next place he land it'll be as a veteran backup role, maybe you know what I'm saying, showing one of these rookies how to work or something like that, man. But I don't know. I don't know if he'll be a big time commodity in this free agency.
Wonder how that quarterback decision impacts Allen Robinson's free agency decision, because he's a free agent as well. Dak Prescott, what happens?
Dak stand down, man. They gonna hopefully give him a big contract, but worst case scenario, he gonna be making $35 million again this year on the franchise tag. So either way, he gonna have a star on his helmet next year for sure.
Cam Newton.
Cam. I think Cam is gonna end up on one of the teams like who don't end up drafting a quarterback, or they don't end up getting the one out of the free agency, or they don't get the Deshaun Watson trade. I think they'll end up with Cam, and maybe a Washington or the Bears or something like that. I think he'll still be able to be a starter, you know what I'm saying, in this league, but I think it's going to be for one of those teams who tried to go somewhere else, but they couldn't capitalize on it, you know what I'm saying, and they end up with Cam.
Quarterback most likely to start for the New England Patriots next year is?
Quarterback most likely to start for the New England Patriots next year is... some reason I feel like it's going to be Jimmy G, man. I feel like the Niners don't really believe in Jimmy, and they're going to try to bust a jug and get somebody else. That Deshaun, I kind of like Deshaun out there in San Fran too. But I think somehow, some way, man, they're going to come up on one of these rookies or one of these other guys, and they're going to get some good draft picks from New England. And I think Jimmy is going to be gone back to New England.
True or false? Drew Lock will be the starting quarterback going into training camp for the Denver Broncos.
True. I think they're going to try to get Deshaun. I don't think they're going to get him. So if they can't get Deshaun, I think they not mad. They ain't just happy, but they satisfied with Drew. So I think the answer is true on Drew. True on Drew.
There we go. I like that one. You got to make it rhyme. Andy Dalton back as a starting backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep, he'll be back again, man. I think he kind of knew that role. He knew what he was getting himself into when he went there. And he played the hell out of his role, man. Shit, he had to step in and be the starter for the whole season. He did what he could. So, and I think the Cowboys, they like how he stepped in. They feel like if he was to have to step in for 2 or 3 games, they'd like that even better. You know what I'm saying? They like what they got if he had to step in again. So I think he remains the backup quarterback for the Cowboys.
Another backup quarterback. What happens with Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Ryan Fitzpatrick, the same, man. I think him and Flo, they got a great relationship. And he know he the backup, man. He know I'm not going to be the face of any franchise. I'm here to hold it down until the young bull is ready. And I think he'll have a lot to do with this offseason, getting to it better this offseason. And I think he'll stay in Miami as the backup because them too, they like what they got. They know if we got to bring him in, we know what we're going to get from him. Long as he happy, they happy, man. He living in Miami, doing his thing. He probably happy. So I think he remain the backup.
True or false? Sam Darnold will be their starting quarterback for the New York Jets next year.
False. I think worst case scenario, they're going to draft one of them young boys at number 2. And they saw Darnold, man. They seen him work. They seen it with their own eyes, man. And he's still young enough for them to get some good in return for him if they was to trade him. So his dangling is out there. His rumors is out there, man. It's a reason for him, man. So I think it's somebody else. It's a different quarterback for the Jets next year.
True or false? Matt Ryan and Julio Jones will be back for the Atlanta Falcons next year.
False. One of them gonna be gone, man. OGs. One of them gonna be gone. So I think the quarterback is pretty much there. I don't know. I like Julio to get moved this offseason. I think he probably loved living in the city. He probably loved the city of Atlanta. But as an NFL player, he probably ready to move around a little bit, man. So I see him going to a veteran team, somebody who a receiver away. And I think I like Julio to get moved this offseason.
Last but not least, Kirk Cousins will be the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings next season.
True. Hey, they came out and said Kurt ain't going nowhere. They say he ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere, man. I like it. And they had a little off year. You know what I'm saying? But the way he spread the ball out to them, I think he in a good spot, man. They defense would have been what their defense normally is. They would have had a lot better of a season. You know what I'm saying? So their defense kind of fell off this year, and that was the reason the team ain't do so good. So I think he'll stay there, man. I think they believe in him.
Yeah, they had a nice little three-headed monster offensively between Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson,
and
Adam
it was
Thielen.
productive too. So that defense kind of fell off a little bit this year, man. So I think they'll try to build that back up. You know what I'm saying? And see what they do next year.
For sure. Once again, I want to thank everybody who's been tuning in for the entirety of the season. It's been a fun one. We decided to do the podcast, a week before the season started. Aqib, after he made his retirement decision, we've seen a lot of engagement. We've helped people win some money. And I know people have been enjoying the content. We've been getting some nice emails. And it's been one of my favorite things was that No Fly Zone anniversary. It was great to do that. It was an honor of us to put that forth for you guys.
Definitely.
And I look forward to doing continuing content throughout the off season. We're gonna have some special surprises, some special pieces of content that I think people will like as we focus in on what teams can do to improve. It's interesting, Aqib, as somebody who's done this media stuff for a little bit. It's always interesting. Beginning of the year, there's a lot of engagement. A lot of people are excited. And then when your team's about 4-5, your fantasy team is trash. Like
they don't even want to watch football no more.
and then they come back around near the end of the season because you still miss football. So
a fan of the
excited.
Game.
Yeah, but now in the 2021 season, everybody is 0-0. Any given Sunday, anybody can end up the Super Bowl champion. So we will guide all fan bases throughout the NFL.
For sure.
What should they do? Who should they trade? Who should they release? Structural differences, all those things, so that you could hope and wish so that your team is ended up like Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the end of the season. So appreciate you guys. Aqib, any last words?
Yeah, great season, man. We enjoyed it. We thank y'all for listening, and don't forget. We here for the off season, man. Check us out. We fans too, so this fun for us. We love to predict who guys gonna draft, where free agents gonna go, and we had a little insight, man. My phone go ham, so we had a little insight, man. So check us out, subscribe, follow us on the social networks, man. We appreciate y'all as much as y'all appreciate us. So call to the booth. We'll see y'all soon.